Hi there, I'm Amanda Cromhote from Truth. Welcome to the Blind Loyalty Challenge. We interview world experts in loyalty blindly. We're hoping to create insight, spontaneity, and a lot of fun through the challenge. The challenge is about promoting the blind loyalty trust, and my book called Blind Loyalty, 101 Loyalty Concepts Radically Simplified. All profits from the book go towards the trust. We hope you enjoy the Blind Loyalty Challenge. So today I have an extra special guest on the Blind Loyalty Challenge. Jenn McMillen, you need absolutely no introduction to the world of loyalty. As the founder of Incendio, I'm so happy to have you here, and I have Brian Pearson to thank for tagging you on the Blind Loyalty Challenge.
I have Brian Pearson to thank me for tagging me as well. So I'm happy to be here.
Awesome, awesome. So straight into it. So the Blind Loyalty Challenge, as I think you know, is going in blind to some great loyalty questions. So the very first question I've got for you is, in chapter 22 of the Blind Loyalty book, we talk about coalition programs. So a great big question everyone's talking about is coalition dead?
I would say, is coalition dead in the United States, or is coalition dead in Europe?
Anywhere that you've got an opinion on.
Fair enough. So having been part of a coalition program, when I was at Michael's Arts and Crafts, we participated in the Air Miles program. I will say, just from my perspective, I would much rather have my own program and not be in a coalition program, because I have much better control over my data, my customer experience, and then what happens on the back end. So coalition programs, I mean, I think they have their place, and it's great, when you can pull powerhouse brands together. But candidly, I've not seen that work well in the United States. Perhaps we all just believe that we are special snowflakes and selfish and should have our own programs. So, so there's that.
There's always space for special snowflakes, always everywhere.
And I think there's too many special snowflakes lately, but that's a whole different topic.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, awesome. Because a lot of people have got strong opinions on coalition, so
Yeah.
it's a good subject. It's debated in the book by Ian Pringle, who was the opening guest on the Blind Loyalty Challenge. So it's worth a good read. So my next question is, if you were to think about loyalty statistics, what's like the craziest statistic you've ever come across?
Craziest statistic I've ever come across. Oh my gosh. I'm scanning the list of my client logos to see if there's anything that's like really crazy. I mean, we have a lot of retail clients, right? So there's very traditional metrics on that one. But my goodness, that's a great question. It's got to be one of our experiential brands. So we if you're experiencing Dave & Buster's loyalty program or NASCAR's loyalty program, you're experiencing our work. And certainly with Dave & Buster's, games played is part of what they do. That's not so crazy. But like with NASCAR, it's tracks visited and races watched on TV and things like that. So I'm trying to think of like the craziest thing is, because mostly it's if you'd asked me what's the craziest thing some of your clients sell, that would have been an interesting question. But from a metrics perspective, yeah, I think just the ones that are out of the box anyway, just as their own business models,
Yeah.
Dave & Buster's, NASCAR being part of them. I mean, we had a dental practice client, a national brand. So
Yeah.
I mean, in terms of like mouths cleaned and things like that, I mean that's some of the crazier stuff that we've come across. But yeah, I would say, I hate to say this, but like most of the loyalty programs, the standard metrics are somewhere related to recency, frequency, and monetary, some form of that.
At the end of the day, I think the corporate boardroom still need to see that, so it's okay. It's not
Yeah,
a problem. We've got to tick some of those boxes often, so that's cool.
yeah.
And then
I mean,
finally, my question is around, if you think actually with some of your clients, if you think about the softer benefits of a loyalty program, so we cover that in chapter 52. What is your personal favorite softer benefit, either through a client or one you've experienced?
All right, so I fly American Airlines. I'm an executive platinum, so I am not top tier, but pretty darn close. Concierge Key is the top one, and I don't aspire to be concierge key. That means you pretty much need to fly, every week of the year. And but for me, it's always the access benefits, right? I would say being able to board the plane first, you know, and so you always have room in your overhead. But yeah, I mean, at this point in my life, I'm always looking for ways to reduce friction. And even though American Airlines doesn't have the best record, and I can't say that I love them as a company, but I certainly am not going to abandon the program because they do allow, you know, so many soft benefits for someone like me, you know, in terms of like lounge access and stuff like that. And just, you know, again, boarding the plane, it sounds so simple, but, you know, I mean, if you're standing in Chicago and it's all executive platinums who board first, even at that point, right, that's when you're fighting for overhead space. And I'm just like, all right,
Yeah,
I don't want to check anything, but yeah, that's probably one of them. And again, it's because it's so top of mind because I fly so much, and you
of
know,
course.
I mean, there's other good things out there, you know, like having access to hotel rooms, you know, through some of my loyalty programs that I'm in, you know, that I wouldn't normally get
Yeah.
access to, and but yeah, but the easiest one for me to talk about is American, just because I fly so dang much.
Good for you. And you know what? We've all been through this loyalty industry for long enough, and we know it started with the frequent flyer program, and the FFPs around the world are changing so dramatically. What's actually refreshing to hear you say is one of the very kind of traditional first benefits of whether it's potentially an upgrade or boarding first or just simple things like that, it still holds true. It still holds so much water in the loyalty world, you know. So yeah, good for you. Great answer.
Well, you know, I mean, I think, you know, the whole thing with loyalty programs, right, is that for those of us who do these for a living, right, I think the mindset is we think of them as perks. Where we get into trouble with consumers is that they start thinking about loyalty programs as a requisite. And so, you know, or an entitlement. And so
Yeah.
that, I mean, that's where, you know, you kind of get into, you know, the split side of it. But, you know, again, this is why, like, there's a lot of programs where I'm very happy to climb the tiers, and because of the treatment that you get, especially like, you know, the soft side of it. And, you know, again, with American Airlines, what I did 2 years ago, I was 4 segments away from being executive platinum. And so
Yeah.
on December 30th, I flew four legs, went nowhere, started in the same place and came back. And it took me one day to do it. I took 2 books with me,
No.
and I posted it, of course, on Facebook and said I'm flying 4 segments for no reason. And people were like, "Wait, hold on, you're flying nowhere?" And I'm like, "Pretty much, but it's important to me to retain my status." And so I realized that I am the cause of that in several programs, but I will also say, I am woman enough to say I drink my own Kool-Aid,
Brilliant.
and I'm happy to also play the game to
Yeah.
retain my status, where to me it's very important.
That's brilliant story. I love it. We hear about that often. We hear like a lot of the airlines on different podcasts
Yeah.
where they actually say, yeah, some of our customers actually just fly just to get to that the segment or the
Mhm.
tier. And now here we are, we're listening to a real professional who designs these programs, who does it herself. You've obviously done the calculations to work out it's worthwhile.
Heck yeah. But you know what? I will say that, you know, being executive platinum, you know, you are pretty high up on the upgrade list. And by me doing my little, you know, secret flying, you know, the one day, I would say, you know, I've probably been upgraded 50% of the time I've flown this year. And for me,
Worth it.
you know what? That's the best soft one. I will like to amend my answer. Boarding is great for first, but actually getting upgraded and not having to pay for it, that's pretty damn awesome as well.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Well, I'm an airline girl anyway from my 11 years at British Airways, so can't say I disagree with anything you're
Yeah.
saying. Wonderful, Jen. You're a superstar. So, who would you like me to talk to next? Who's my next blind loyalty challenge? I don't like using the word victim, but let's use it for fun.
All right. I am going to nominate someone who I think is a luminary in the loyalty industry. And I would say I would call him one of our elder statesmen. I am nominating Phil Rubin.
Amazing. I'd love to chat to Phil. So, thank you. I'm going to ask you to help me get in touch with Phil. We
Sure.
know of each other because we've both been hosts on the Let's Talk Loyalty show, but
Yeah.
thank you very much. Awesome, Jen. Thanks so much.
I hated my answers.
Nah, I'm sure the audience didn't, so please don't stress. Thank you.